Good evening and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. It's Friday night. We're going to look forward to the game this weekend. Tomorrow evening, but this time tomorrow night. We'll find out if we are further ahead in the league or not. And today we found out that a certain goal, yes, Dyson Maida's goal versus Hibs. Dyson Maida's goal versus Hibs should have stood. Tell me what you think in the comments about the fact that, we all looked at the time, Brendan Rodgers went off his rocker. Brendan Rodgers said that there's no way could VAR have decided if that ball was over the line because of the angles. And the SFA today confirmed that the match incident was overwhelmingly which determined the Hibernian win. It should have stood. VAR. And when you look at some of the incidents that happened in another game where they didn't look at VAR, it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? It's no wonder that Scottish officials never get near European games or top level games, because the corruption in the SFA and the corruptions within the Masonic Lodge in Scotland hasn't gone away. And they'll say, oh, it's all about them, it's all about them. Anyway, we move on from it, like Brendan Rodgers would do. There's some transfer speculation kicking around also about Alistair Johnston. And I'm going to say right now, there is absolutely no chance at all of Alistair Johnston going to Fulham or Ipswich. No chance at all. There is no way that Alistair Johnston, who was named in the FIFA Men's 11 last year, Alistair Johnston named in the FIFA Men's 11. There's no way is he going to ruin his career. No way is Alistair Johnston going to ruin his career and go to... And it's no disrespect to Fulham or Ipswich, but it's a big step backwards. It's a massive step backwards, isn't it? You're not going to get internationally recognised by going to Fulham or Ipswich, are you? Not at all. But there's also speculation that says that there could be more suitors from across Europe make interest. Now, I've said that Alistair Johnston could go for big money and people laugh me down. Alistair Johnston's appearances and goals and his assists, it is good reading. But, well, Alistair Johnston's going nowhere. He's just signed a new deal at Celtic and I cannot see him going anywhere. Anyway, St Mirren tomorrow night, 5:30 kickoff. I'm just... someone asked me to do a poll. I can't remember who it was. But they asked, should the Zombies be in or out of paradise? Now, my own thoughts on it personally is we need them. We need them back at our ground, and we need to get back in numbers in their ground. I've been to Ibrox many, many times over the years when we had the full allocation. And there was nothing better than out-singing them and watching them empty the stadium with 10-15 minutes to go. Nothing better doing that at their ground. And under Brendan Rodgers, it was fantastic. Now, remember that the reason that the allocation was reduced, and the factual reason, the evidence was there. There was a group of Rangers players, I think it was Club 1882 or 1872 or whatever it is, an influential group of Rangers supporters at the time when Dave King was in charge were fed up of Celtic winning and celebrating at their ground. And the fact is that they went to Dave King and said, look, we're getting sick of this pish, go and reduce their allocation so we can't hear them singing. You know, that's our ground, we'll decide how many people gets in. And they reduced the allocation. And then Celtic reduced it even more. So, you know, it's a game, it's something that's been going on for six odd years now, and it was time that it was brought to fruition. And if you ask me, the SFA should have stepped in a long time ago a long time ago and said that, look, you need to cut this shit out, and it's 2.5%. It shouldn't even be 2.5%. It should be 5%. It should be more. It's ridiculous the amount of fans that it's went down to. I mean, 2,500 is absolutely nothing. But 2,500 Celtic fans at Ibrox will make more noise than the whole of their stadium put together, I'm sure, at points. Anyway, so the question was, should the Zombies be in or out of paradise? Keep them in for a laugh, I said, or keep them out. And it's there's 90 votes in already, and it's 52% for keep them out. I wonder how many of the fans that are saying keep them out are ones that actually go to games. I'm just interested in that. If you go to games and you voted keep them out, tell me in the comments. I'd be interested to see how many, because I know that a lot of people who go to games miss the atmosphere, especially when it comes to derbies. I think it's been devalued. I think it's completely devalued the game in Scotland. Not only the derby. I don't think that keeping them out makes the derby any better. I actually think it devalues it. If we get 2,500 at Ibrox, that'll be half the stand behind the goal, and it'll be quarter of the stand behind the goal, plus that corner section. I don't know how they do it, because you can't, for safety reasons, it'll be the majority of that corner. They started this shit, not us, Baz. Exactly, Paddy Burns. I mean, I know that they started it. I've just said that they started it. I mean, we know why they started it, because we were winning. But there has to come a point where they have to realise that they need to let us back in. It's as simple as that. I mean, we can take their money, they need ours. I don't think it's about that. You have both sets of fans, Gizo. You have to have both sets of fans, says Joe. Yeah, you do. And it makes the game, because the atmosphere without both sets of fans is terrible. I don't care what anybody says. For a TV product, if we're trying to sell the SPFL, if we're trying to sell the Scottish League, excuse me, and we're trying to get bigger deals for the TV, you need both sets of fans. It's as simple as that, because it was the atmosphere that sold the games. Do you know, I can remember being at Celtic Park when they were going bust, and the atmosphere was absolutely terrific. Do you know, the atmosphere in those games was brilliant, and seeing them just sitting and hating every minute of it, there's nothing better. There's nothing better when you go to games. Nothing better when you go to games. So let's dive into the comments and see what you're saying about it. Joe says we need to have both sets of fans. Hitman Hart says, yep, get an Uber party going and then put them right out. Nick says, I don't go Baz, but I don't want to see their colours or singing or crap. Hail. Interesting. Dave Morton says, that's nothing. The problem is they should have tried to fix it. Couldn't stand their victorious, dominant displays against them. Exactly. They wrecked the ground and toilets, etc. They did once. They wrecked the toilets and that once. But listen, if they do, they have to pay for it. It's as simple as that. And it's usually done behind closed doors. I mean, they'll be given the bill, and it's as simple as that. I can remember the time where seats were regularly broken at games, Celtic Park and away at other grounds. Now, when the incident happened at Motherwell and Celtic scored a goal and there was a crush of fans moving forward towards the goal, the seats at Motherwell that day just caved in. The seats were old and rusty. They were a kid could have pushed the seats over that day. But Peter Lawwell decided to give the nod, because he had fallen out with the Green Brigade at the time, and the Motherwell ground staff piled all the seats together and says the Green Brigade ran riot and wrecked Motherwell's ground, when that wasn't what happened. I was there that night. I was in the middle of it. I was in the bit where the seats collapsed. It wasn't what happened that night, and things like this never usually made the press, but it did that night because Peter Lawwell wanted it to. He had his agenda. he wanted to get the Green Brigade banned for Celtic Park, which ultimately they did. He did for one game, but it was a time where the Green Brigades were gaining prominence, and Celtic maybe thought they were getting too big for their boots at the time. But anyway, these type of things have happened over the years, and clubs in general have a gentleman's agreement to just settle the bill. Simple. You pay the bill. You pay the bill for the seats. Seats broken, you pay the bill. Toilets are wrecked, Rangers get sent the bill, it's fine. And they pay it. That's generally what happens. This nonsense where it starts going into the media and everything, it's just... STV keep reporting that it was down to security concerns. Utter crap. Utter crap. It was never down to security concerns. Ibrox... This bullshit that Celtic Rangers was a dangerous game. Everyone that knows that goes to Ibrox, Celtic Rangers was one of the safest games you could go to because you couldn't get anywhere near them. You parked the bus at the industrial estate, you walked up the road, you turned left, you then walked along a bit and then into the ground. You had the full behind the goals was all cordoned off. You couldn't get down the back of the stadium to get anywhere near them. You couldn't get... There was about 100-yard flipping gap with a line of police over the car park where you couldn't get near each other. It was one of the safest games to go to. It's as simple as that. That's the all honesty. You couldn't get near each other. It's the same with Hearts Away. There's a big metal barrier. As soon as you go under the bridge at Hearts Away, there's a big metal barrier that stops you getting anywhere near the Hearts fans. But the fact is that the Hearts stands are that close together, they can chuck coins at us, and they used to en masse. Anyway, safety concerns is just the Scottish media just trying to cover up the truth, and that's the matter of the fact is that everyone that went to the games knows exactly what it was for. And let me get some more of the comments. Green actually says, didn't he want those animals at Celtic Park? They bring nothing of worth. Interesting. The reception for wee Barry will be a great. 60,000 fans all booking him. Brilliant. Yep. You can smell them coming, says Craig. Jamesy Boy says, we all know that they stopped us going to Castle Grayskull. Yep. Paul says, they can't pay £5 face painter. How long did they wait for to pay the toilets and things? Don't know. There was a security risk when they cut the allocation from 8,000 to 800. Yes, Joseph, that's correct. That's correct. It was safer to go to the game as a crowd of 8,000 than it was a great 800. When you had the barrier, I mean, they were throwing stuff over the fucking walls, over the barrier walls. So anyway, it's just good not to hear that bile victorial that comes out of their mouths. Scott, I understand that, and understand from a TV perspective, you don't really want to hear their shit and their bigoted nonsense, and they're up to their knees in Fenian blood. But the time that we scored 2 goals, that's them shut the fuck up, and then they're back under the rock that they came from. And there's nothing better than beating them at Celtic Park, beating them at Ibrox, when there's loads of their fans getting told that they can't get out the stadium, and they're getting kept, and then you get ones that are trying to sneak out early. It's a bit much listening to their hateful songs and opinions. Well, I get to fans, even theirs, hope they behave. I don't think who cares if they behave? I don't care if they behave. Do you know, that's why you've got the netting. That's why the security stuff was put in place, the security netting that you have at European away games, so they can't throw stuff towards the home fans. So I've no concerns with that. Clamped orange bears. Roy Aitken, yep, big Des. Roy Aitken used to say, I don't know what the full verse of the sash is, because by the time they got to the first verse, we would have scored and shut them up. Baz, they will be leaving early. Yes, they will be. Feed the bear. Yep. He liked a goal against the Huns. Put green dye in the toilet. After all, it's St. Patrick's weekend. Can I swear, Baz? Half their team crosses themselves coming to the park. Exactly. When can zombies behave? They're allowed to walk away at 60 minutes. They're not allowed to do the walk away at 60-minute mark. Yes. Anyway, right. What is your thoughts on the fact that Celtic should have had a draw at pitch at Hibs? The match referee, Stephen McLean, awarded the goal. The assistant kept his flag down, saying that the ball wasn't over the line. There was pictures showing you that the ball looked over the line, but with the angles that the TV cameras were at, it wasn't conclusive that the ball was 100% over the line. It then went to VAR, who, after the goal, decided that the ball had went out. Brendan Rodgers said that VAR in Scotland is a shambles. It's full of Masonic wannabes. It's controlled by the Lodge and the Referees Association of Lanarkshire. You couldn't make it up, eh? The Lanarkshire Referees Association, and we all know who their allegiance are to. The fact that it cost us a point, it doesn't really matter, does it? I mean, it's over and done with now. But the fact that Brendan Rodgers has been vindicated, the report says the majority, 4-1, of the panel deemed the on-field decision of the goal to be correct. I wonder who was the one that disagreed with the other 4. It's obviously a panel of 5. And I wonder where the 4-1, there's obviously a panel of 5 looking at these things for VAR later on. They felt that the factual VAR intervention for the intervention of the ball being out of play was incorrect. One panel member felt it was correct to intervene. They believed that one of the angles showed the ball out of play. Rodgers said at the time of the the VAR official, Alan Muir, had guessed it. When you see the lines that VAR has, I'd get fed up talking about VAR and officials in Scotland, because the incompetent level of refereeing over the years that's been blatantly anti-Celtic. Now they're going to say, no, VAR's against Rangers, fucking VAR's against Rangers, fucking Fenians are controlling Scottish football. Yeah, fucking tell you. Fucking VAR bastards and Fenians. Fucking Fenians. I think that we should definitely play Simply the Best. God. Big Des says we should batter out Simply the Best before the game, just for banter. See, the thing is talking about games at Ibrox. There was games at Ibrox where Celtic fans started singing Simply the Best before them, and it really pissed them off. And it actually stopped them singing Simply the Best, which was funny. Phil and Beale in a wig, Mick in a wig. The president of the Larkhoyle Loyal was their 5th man. Yes. Anyway, right, predictions and team selection for the weekend. Will Brendan Rodgers bring back the new daddy? He's not the daddy of Celtic, is he? He's a new dad. Greg Taylor. Will Greg Taylor be brought back into the fold this weekend? Well, he's back in the team. Brendan Rodgers was asked about Sloop, and whether that he would be offered a contract by Celtic come the summer. Brendan Rodgers did say that, look, it's a conversation that will take place, which kind of goes against the grain for signings that Celtic have had. But I have said in the past that I do think that Celtic need to bring in some older, calmer, experienced heads. Now, the fact that Sloop is 32. Is he too old to get a longer term contract at Celtic? What would be the contract offer from Celtic? Would it be a 2-year contract, which would take him up to 34, which is a bit young for a defender to retire? But then again, 34, 35, and they kind of had the day at that point, aren't they? I mean, that's young by any means. 35. Jesus, I was just getting my shit together at 35. That's the reality of life, isn't it? But at 35, most football players are just finishing their career, and they're having to go into the real world and the working world, and then decide what they're going to do with themselves, whether they stay on. And I mean, in reality can Jeffrey Sloop bring to the table over the next 2 years of Celtic? He's not going to have a sell-on clause. And he's not going to have a sell-on clause, but he brings a bit of stability, and that's what we really need. And he brings that old head. Would that be an advantage going into the Champions League? I'm not sure if he's ever played Champions League level. He's been in the he's been in the English Premier League for the last 10 years. Did he play in the Champions League for Leicester? He maybe did. I'm not too sure. I've never really looked at his career. But he's done okay. He's done okay. Could he be somebody that fits into the squad for long term? Anyway, Brendan Rodgers says, look, it's something that we're going to look at, and it'll be interesting what happens this summer. So, Celtic head to St Mirren tomorrow evening, 5:30 kick-off. Do you think that the team will be the exact same team as this one? Will they keep the same team? Will Greg Taylor be of a fit state of mind after seeing his missus giving birth, Mrs. Laura giving birth and having a little girl? And it's just a whole new journey for Greg Taylor that he's went into. Brendan Rodgers went on to say that his daughter was just celebrating her 29th birthday and said, enjoy every moment of it. And I can totally get where Brendan Rodgers is coming from. It's funny that me and Brendan had kids about the same time. Weird. It's weird. And here we are, both like enjoying and loving Celtic. So yeah, Greg Taylor, does he get back into the team? He'll get back into the squad. Will he make the bench? I think there's every chance that he'll make the bench, because you've got to think St Mirren are a big, bulky team. So it wouldn't surprise me if Brendan Rodgers went for the same starting 11 as the one that's on the screen there. That was the game. That was from the Hibs game. Schmeichel, Johnson, Carter Vickers, Trusty, Sloop, McGregor, Engels, Hatate, Jota, Kuhn and Dyson Maeda. Scales on the bench, Sinisalo on the bench, Adamida, Yang. Adamida's bound to be thinking though, don't know, why am I not getting played before Dyson Maeda? But you want to start the game fast and get as many goals as you can, and I think that Dyson brings that to the game rather than. But then again, that's doing a bit of disrespect to Adamida, isn't it? Anyway, it's Brendan Rodgers' choice, and I'm sure he'll make the right decision for the game tomorrow. So what do you think the score will be? Tell me in the comments. We'll get our predictions. Jota to score tomorrow. Are you sure about that hat? Or should I say, are you Alan Muir about that? What? I have no idea what that's all about. Chris D says, if the investment, will they invest in young Scottish players, therefore investing in our game? If they get investment, no, of course they're not going to invest in Scottish players. They're going to go out and listen, who cares about them getting investment? I've never worried about them when they were getting financially doped by Murray. You know, if they get taken over, they're going to take more money out of the club than they're putting in. So I'm not even going to worry about them. Anyway, let's get concentrated on St Mirren and Celtic. Angling Ayrshire is first in. He's going for 3-1 Celtic. Spacey saying starting 11, 4-0 the Thames. Rambo says 3-0. I think Ida might get the nod. Jim, I think you might be right about that. Raymond Ewan says 3-1 Celtic. Change the definition, but I can give a wee shout out to my boy Kai. There you go, Kai. Hail, hail, young man. When I asked the love of my life, first answer was family, then Celtic. God, you've got that wrong. Mine's is Celtic, then family. And all my family knows that. All my family. Celtic man's go for 3-0 Celtic. I'm worried about the money. They ain't catching us. I'm not worried about money than they've got. They've got tax bills to pay and stuff again. Craig Young says, well said there. Yeah, but let's get concentrating on us. Let's get real. We have been the team and authority in Scotland and has been despised for 100 years. The fact that we are the truth and light, the power, fair play to honesty in football. Yep. And that's what they hate. They hate the fact that we were never meant to be this successful. They were meant to be the powerhouse of fuck them. Who gives a fuck? Fuck the Huns. Fuck the Huns. There you go. Jason Lee says 4-0 Celtic. Kevin says 4-1 Celtic. Just looking at Jeffrey Sloop's stats, he's never been overused most seasons. He plays about 20 games, so he shouldn't be knackered, says Gary D. That's an interesting one. So he's been a squad player all the time then, so he's never been a first team starter, which is interesting. So it kind of lets him fit into the bill that Celtic want him to play it. And you can understand why Brendan Rodgers want to go, but anyway, we'll wait and see with the sound. I'm going to give St Mirren a goal. I reckon after that we'll score plenty. Paul McCoon's going 3-1 or 2-1 or 3-0 Celtic. Jamesy Boy. It's going to be a tight game, but I think we'll win 2-1. Yang to score 1. Scott Wallace says 5-0 Hiding. Jason Lee says 4-0. Kevin says 4-1 Celtic. Mark Stoddart says 4-1. A Jota double and 1 goal and 1 assist. Maida a double, sorry. Jota 1 goal and 1 assist. Didn't feel them when they were potless. Not going to start now. Yep. St Mirren play 5 in midfield. Who's the referee tomorrow? I don't even know, and I don't care, Chris. It's as simple as that. We know that if VAR is going to be that obvious, and it's always been the case. It's always been the case going way back. You know, as long as you score more goals than them and you beat the referee, that's it. You know, they can try and hold us back as much as they can. But 55's incoming. It's inward bound. The 55 is on its way. You know, the 55 is on its way, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. That is coming. The 55 is coming. And then the 56 will be here next year. I am that confident that we'll win 56 next year. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter if they come in with £100 million in investment, because they've got a lot of bills to pay. My first love is Celtic. Told my wife when I met her. She replied the same here. That's good. My missus knows my first love's Celtic. She says, at least there's not another woman. Joseph says 3-0. Paul says 3-1 Celtic. Any word on Mr. Quinn? No. He's been quiet. And I just hope that he's dealing with the situation that he's having to deal with okay. And I did say that, I did put it out there and say to him, look, if you needed to talk, get in touch if you wanted to. But he's obviously having to deal with the situation mentally. I know that he was watching some of the videos, he just wasn't commenting, he just wasn't wanting to get involved. But our thoughts are with him. So Mr. Quinn, if you're watching, chin up, fella. Chin up. I know it's hard for me. I know it's easy for somebody to say that to you when you've been given the news that you didn't particularly maybe want to hear. And it's hard. I don't know, it is hard. But if you do want to talk, just reach out, man. Reach out. 4-0 Celtic says Gemma, who is just about to pop. That'll be coming quite soon, Gemma, isn't it? Yeah, because I've got to go back soon for one as well. Joseph's going for 3-1. Gemma's going for 4-0. Are you Alan Muir? The ball was out, Baz. The ball was out. The ball was out. There's been the SFA. There's been 4 members of the SFA said it wasn't out. I mean, they've got better footage than what we have. 7-0. 7-0. A lot of people shouting out to Mr. Quinn. I hope he's reading these comments. Fans need to get into our grounds. The atmosphere makes the game intense. It's the only reason that it's loved worldwide by the hardcore fans. Yes, exactly. And football is all about emotion. Exactly. P. Barry, the leader for the Boo Boys. 7 years investment at Leeds. They posted 190 in debt. Well, there you go. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Jim McClatchy is going for 2-0 Celtic. 9 days. Oh God, Gemma's going to pop any time. Don't break your waters live on air. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't. Gemma typing, fuck! Shit! Bastards! Oh, man. How bad is this that happened in the 60s and 70s? The cheating. Yes, it did that. There will be 2,400 Gers fans in tears on the 16th. Yes, there will be. I'll just read some of these. The ref will stop the flow of the game tomorrow. I don't think so. Paddy's Day, Gemma. Are you calling on Brendan or Maida? Alan Muir, sure, Baz, for God's sake. A lot of people saying all the best to Gemma, who's about to pop any day. What can we do to get Gemma to pop? Like, just break her waters just right now. That'd be funny. It wouldn't be. God, gives me the fear. Hold the wee man in. Nick says, love this channel, well done Baz, hail. Cheers Nick for that. How many votes we had on the poll? We're going to try and get up to 200, so there's been over 730 people on the video so far, but there's only been 182 votes. Should the zombies be in or out of paradise? And I said in just for laughs, so we can laugh at them and then keep them out. 55% of the people on the channel that have voted tonight have said keep them out. Send her a madras. She's about a week away for that yet. 9 days to go, she's a week away. I had a jump scare at the video. Hype to it. Gemma Boo. No, Alan Muir, who the ref is tomorrow. Everyone giving Gemma lots of love. Anyway, let me see what other Celtic headlines are kicking about. Why Kieran Tierney was thrust into action. Who gives a shit? Napoli versus Inter Milan. Who gives a shit? What telly? What times? The main event. This is on main event Sky Sports. Sky Sports main event channel tomorrow. The football highlights will be on Sports Scene channel at 7:15 on Saturday. How can it? How? Will the game even be? It'll just be finished, won't it? It'll just be finished. Celtic TV will be broadcasting it for overseas viewers, but there's no pay-per-view option in the United Kingdom. But if you've got a little Fire Stick, you can watch it on Celtic TV. You can watch it on TV. Here we go. Matthew McDermott is the referee at the game tomorrow, assisted by Callum Spence and Stephen Trainer. I wonder if he's related to Jim Trainer. Andrew Dallas is on VAR. Oh, you can't make it up, can you? Andrew Dallas is on VAR. There you go. That's all you need to know. All you need to know. Andrew Dallas is on VAR tomorrow. Unbelievable. Couldn't make it up if you tried. Hail to you, Baz, says Tony. Don't break your water just now, Gemma. Villa is playing in the FA Cup tonight. A Sevco, a limited company. If the takeover happened, there should be a limited company. Are they not a limited company just now? Who knows? I think we Baz will have them all staunching up for it against us. Yes, headbutting walls and that. Yep, I think so. Anyway, we had 200 votes. We need 8 votes. Come on, there's. God, the channel's slow tonight. It's a Friday, right? That's why. Right, I'm going to finish up this poll because it doesn't look as if it's going to change. I don't think that another 9 votes would make a difference to give it a swing of 10% the other way. So let's finish that poll up. Wee Baz. No. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. God bless. That was a strange situation. Him, his wife, and his Doug. Him, his wife, and his Doug. Yeah. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. Name the baby Jota. Oh, can't call Wayne Jota. Jesus. Anyway, the vote was finished and there was 55%, and YouTube took its usual 1% off the 44% who said no. Keep them in for laughs. The rest of them wanted them out. Kaiser is in the house. Kaiser, you're in just as I'm getting ready to leave. Dallas on VAR, but not a worry. Yep, it's not to worry that he is on VAR, but who really cares? I do not. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow morning. I'm just saying there's no much going around. I mean, we could talk about the team, but I think we've all decided that the team is going to be what it is. Anyway, James Boyce says, wee Hackman died and his wife and his dog. I reckon. I know, but sorry. It was at the bevy shop. I heard that there's going to be a One Celtic Fans View get together next week, Kaiser. Is it next Friday? One Celtic Fans View meet up next Friday at the Brazen Head. It's Big Des and Kaiser. And I'm sure Kaiser will send me pictures of you all you drunken lot together. Anyway, right, that's me done and dusted for this evening. I will be back tomorrow morning, and then I'll be back an hour and a half before kick-off as normal. Thank goodness. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening. Remember, we are going for the original 55. It's coming home. Have a fantastic evening, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around.